Go grab your bag, I'll bring the gun. Let's keep this cute little tub in the whole time. That'll make it much easier. I'm sweaty and gross. I'm sorry. I sprinted home. It's starting to get hot. I don't need my jacket no more in Manhattan. All right, ready? Chapter 3. I scrolled through just to see how far, how long all the chapters are. So I think we can get through chapter 3 and 4 in one fell swoop. Let's give it a try. Ready? Oh, I told my mom about Ad Nauseum's new video. That's what she calls him. And by video, I mean book. And she went to the page. She went to his Amazon page, and she's like, how do I read this? I want to see. And she was kind of miffed that he had a lot of 5-star reviews. And I'm like, don't easy on fans. They're fucking psycho. Most of them are. Not all of them. Briefly after I fell asleep that night, I had a dream about Abby. It was the first dream I had experienced in some time. What does that mean? Briefly after I fell asleep? I don't think you can really necessarily gauge how long after you fall asleep that you start to dream. I know, right? Just saw you yawn. And the first, I read somewhere, I don't know, don't quote me on this, I read that if you don't dream on a day, not a daily, if you don't dream on a consistent basis, it's a sign of a personality disorder. I don't know, that's just something I read, it might not be accurate. I'm not normally the type of person to be deeply impacted by dreams, as more often than not I can control them. I can recognize the fact that I'm in a dream and twist things around so that whatever is making me afraid becomes afraid of me. So he's describing lucid dreaming. This is all he has to say. He's just so fucking wordy. This tactic, however, could not possibly work in this soon-to-be nightmare, as there was no living monster waiting around the corner. Alright. There was no emotion in this machine that was about to reveal itself to me. I could only watch without a physical form. I was just a helpless spectator in my own mind. So he says he has this dream and then just pontificates about, how, he has all this fucking nightmare coming. It's like you had this dream, describe your dream. And then go, you're foreshadowing, no, it's not foreshadowing. You're describing something that hasn't happened yet, but the reader is confused as to, where you're even going with it. He's jumping around. So now he goes into the dream. The dream began without any sound. Only a deep hum accompanying what appeared to be Abby laughing in a field of what looked like grey grass from afar. Afar is one word. Afar is how he wrote it. What appeared to be, what looked like. It just say what it is. It's a dream. We're expecting to suspend our disbelief in a dream sequence, so what looked like gray grass, just say gray grass. What looked like Abby, I saw Abby laughing in a fucking field. I saw Sadie staring at me and being creepy right now. No, I don't know what you're doing. You're so silly. You know you're on camera, too. You're such a little attention whore. See? Newsroom! She's such a newsroom. As my view of her revealed more detail, I began to realize that what I thought was grass was actually long, slender claws. Experiencing a more alarmed spectrum of emotion, the audible hum cut out and was replaced by Abby's screams. The sound echoed, bouncing off the walls of my mind. No shit, it's of your mind. We're dreaming. Splitting me in two and engulfing the core of my being. That's how it's written. Splitting me in two and engulfing the core of my being. She was not forming any words in her screams, and I began to understand why the more I analyzed every detail. Oh, I'm sorry. She was not forming any words in her screams, and I began to understand why the more I analyzed every detail. That's not really a run-on sentence. Again, it's very wonky, and it's stupid bullshit. I shifted my perspective to a new angle. So needlessly verbose. Oh my god, I'm gonna say that word so many fucking times that me saying it is gonna become verbose. I was now above her looking down and could see the claws were pulling her into the ground. She showed no resistance to being dragged into the ground. She didn't even cry for help. She would only scream in pain as she slowly sank beneath the surface. Run-on sentence. I began to distinctly hear blades and gears violently turning just beneath her. So, like, distinctly, you don't need distinctly. Because, like, the sound of blades and gears turning is a distinct sound. You don't need to say violently turning. It's an unneeded adverb again. It's difficult to explain, but in her eyes I could see she didn't want to be saved, as she genuinely felt she had earned the suffering she was enduring. You already implied that she didn't want to be saved because she's... Look at fucking Sadie. Because she showed no resistance, number one. Number two, again, you're saying how she feels with no basis. It's like... She believed she deserved to be ground up until there was nothing left. I wish to fucking God he had made this in third person, because then it's easier to read. But the fact that you see this little stupid annoying James character, just like, I'm sorry, I was distracted by the cat. When you see James just having like a feeling of what everybody is doing, then it just becomes really unbelievable. And silly. Like this kitty. She's so silly. Okay. Stop distracting me. I don't know you. No, don't do that either. Okay. Once she was pulled completely under, I was finally given a physical form in the dream. Dropping from above, I landed on the soil she disappeared in. Oh, are you joking? You're such an asshole. Okay, I immediately dropped to my knees and began digging with my bare hands to get Abby. I was only inches deep before the ground ripped open, forcing me to jump back. Here's what I find very interesting. Here's an astute observation. James's character has all these ideas of what everybody is feeling around all the time, but I'm not seeing a sense of what exactly he's feeling. Now, this is a dream that's supposed to be, like, traumatic, I guess. Somebody just got pulled into the ground, and now you are clawing at the ground to try to get her out. Okay? I understand. But there's no personality behind it. It's like he's just doing these motions. He's just doing them. You know, like there's no urgency of, oh my God, I can't believe a girl that I like just got sucked into the ground. I need to get her out. You just, like, I'm picturing just a character who is just going through the motions and has no bearing behind it. And I find that very strange. Because Omnizion wrote him like an avatar of himself who has been shown to really not have too many emotions to the point where it's quite sociopathic. And I know I've said that a million times, but I do think he's a sociopath, just like a high-functioning one, I guess. Okay. A deep canyon began to form central to where I had begun digging. A deep canyon began where I had begun. Ooh, just ouch. The splitting and groaning quickly gained momentum. Groaning does not gain momentum. Groaning is a sound. It doesn't gain momentum. Momentum is physical. Mostly. Just sounds very strange. Ripping and screeching sounds erupted all around me as the earth divided before me at a now crippling rate. What? That's so contradictory. Like, it's supposed to, it's going fast, but at a crippling rate? A crippling is like a slowing down. Cool. A hellish sight consumed my eyes as I looked down on the collapsing landmass below. Powerful machines wielding massive blades swung violently, scraping dirt and rock with a sound so tremendous I could only faintly hear the screams of countless desperate humans below. Oh, run-on sentence. Adverb heavy, unneeded. It's so flat, so wooden. I quickly realized the terrified voices beyond the ripping blades, you've used the word ripping before, like a sentence ago, were no illusion. Thousands of lives were being devoured in piles, no person among them begging for life, rather, like Abby. They screamed only in pain delivered not just by the roaring blades and gears, but their very existence itself. Ooh! Their very existence itself. No. That doesn't agree. That's a run-on sentence. The way it's worded says, no person among them begging for life, rather, comma, like Abby. He should have started a new sentence there, and he didn't. Suffering, ampersand consciousness had become one in the same. Just what, like, I want to, like, these are not justified. Like, what are you using ampersands for? Just write and. I then woke up to my room filled with sunlight, but it could not change the darkness my dream left me with. Yeah. I felt something inside me change, almost as if I had seen something I was never meant to and now had to find a way to lose the thick cloud freshly looming over my head. Really, Greg, you are using way too many adverbs. It's so adverb heavy. And it's not adding anything because this guy has no fucking personality. Like, I'm not seeing any reason for this guy to, like, have all these, like, morose fucking thoughts. Other than it came from Greg's head and he's a fucking fucked up person. It is, as I said briefly before, bing, I feel like a visitor here, like I'm in this world, but not a part of it like everyone else. Show don't tell, show don't tell, show don't tell, show don't tell! Oh my god. I study people and situations to find out how they work, and sometimes my dreams fill in the emotions and thoughts I missed while I was awake. Fuck off. Not having to go to school that day due to my suspension, I decided to write a letter to Abby. It read, : When I look in your eyes, ... I at times feel a level of sadness I have never felt, as if we, despite barely knowing each other, have been apart for far too long. Is this something that Shiloh wrote for you back in the day? Because it sounds a little like... I'm gonna pause here for a second and just some little real talk right here. Just ignore the fatness. I'm so fat today. So, when Gerg and Shiloh were going out, I feel like they had a kind of relationship that was incredibly toxic, but incredibly, like, deep and close as someone like Greg could get, because he is a very, very fucked up human being on a lot of levels. But they had this, like, very intense connection with each other that maybe could be explained if you were a psychologist with an actual psychology degree. But I feel like what's happening is that relationship is being relived here. But because you saw, like, they were very toxic together. They would break up, they would get back together, they'd break up, they'd get back together, and I feel like the videos that I have seen when they were interacting was the most genuine I've actually ever seen Greg be. I know it's weird to say, but, like, he's been online for, like, 9 years. Like, that's long enough to, like, get a feel of somebody, I would say. So that's my, observation there. So now I'm seeing this shit go on here. And it's just very strange to witness it in real time. Seeing him write down, like, kind of how he felt about that whole thing. But then again, like, there's just no basis for it. That's why that relationship inevitably failed, because he can't form his own, like, thoughts about things, and he just wants things to work out even though they don't. Whatever. He started a new paragraph here, but he did not add quotes. So it's just a new, like, here's a paragraph here. Believe me, there's a paragraph here, there's one down here, but there's no quote. So you don't know if like, it's sloppy. When you are continuing a quote in the next paragraph, you add another quote. You add an open quote, and he didn't, because he's a fucking idiot, and he doesn't realize that you'd have to do that. So, let's continue with Abby's stupid fucking letter. When I talk to you, it is like I am listening to a voice I've ached for, yet haven't heard in a lifetime. See what I mean? See? It's very inexplicable. Every other experience I have with you seems familiar, but at the same time, it hurts. Like you would feel if you begged for something and only received it when you had already given up hope. Okay. These feelings are all so strange and evolving at a rate that scares me, as they are for someone I am only now just truly getting to know. Like, we get it. We get it. You guys don't know each other very well. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Ew, I'm, like, creepily reminded of, like, one of my past relationships where, like, it was very intense, like, quickly. And, like, he was saying to me, he's like, I've never, like, been so into somebody, like, so early on. I'm like, me neither, you know. Maybe that's just something that happens, like, at the beginning of relationships, you know, and it stays there. And some people, like, you know, just want to keep reliving that and that and that and that over and over again. But you really don't, because unless you grow as a couple, I don't know why I'm, like, drawing on my wall. If you don't grow as a couple, then it's not working out. And, like, this quote-unquote honeymoon phase could snuff out pretty quickly. And if you find that there's nothing after that little honeymoon phase, then, like, you know, then the relationship's gonna fail. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so tangential today. I'm on tangents. Even with my brief presence in your life, I've picked up on so much suffering, and almost feel powerless to create any change. There are so many wounds, so many scars, so much I only know enough about to fear. What? I'm trying to understand. So am I, Greg. See, it's like he wrote a letter to Abby, but it's all about him. That's all fucking Greg can do. Such a prick farmer. Abby, you have more pain in your life than I can imagine. I hear it in your voice. I see it in your eyes, and in the way you move. I just want to see you smile without there being an ocean wall of tears behind your eyes. See, it's all about him. Fucking penis face. I want to hear everything you have to say. I want to find a way to heal the damage done until you can forget it ever existed. You can't fucking, like, you can't fix another person. You can only fix yourself. That's why all of Greg's relationships, or most of them, were so disgustingly toxic and codependent. I sent the letter to her email address. Where'd you get her email address? All you had was her phone number that she did a random code for you. Moments later, the phone rang. Okay. What? Answering the phone, I heard Abby's voice on the other end. Hey, can you meet me at the quick shop? She asked. I responded. Did you see my email? She replied, nope, why didn't you just call? I said it would have been really hard to say over the phone. I had to find the words. She replied, okay, I'll look and then I'll head over. I then confirmed, sure, see you there. Oh, God. Like, his dialogue is so shit-tastic. Oh, it's so mechanical and just so awful. It's just terrible. I miss Sadie sitting up here. She was so fucking cute. Shortly after, I got dressed and skated over to meet her. I arrived quickly, thanks to what seemed to be a record speed for me. Superfluous! However, once I arrived, I found myself waiting for someone who now had no intention of meeting me. What? I could only assume I had just made myself look like a huge jerk to her. I attempted to call her from the nearby payphone, and she didn't answer. What? Oh, okay, so she, like, again, in like 400 words, he said she wasn't there. That's all he had to say. Now had no intention of meeting me. It's just like, it's so needlessly wordy. As I skated home in my mind, I went through the letter I wrote and over. I began to blame myself, concluding based on her absence that I must have dug too deep too fast. Show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. Like ugh. I mean, I feel like I have trouble with show, don't tell a lot of the time. Greg is the master of tell, not showing. I scared her away because I reacted on the emotions I experienced in that dream before actually considering the human being on the other side of the letter. I felt like I was just about to finally connect with someone only to ruin everything at the last minute. That's the end of chapter 3. Okay. Like there's no exciting events that happen. Like, they're just moments in his life that just happen. Like, nothing that can significantly show a personality trait or show a character flaw. You know, they're just moments that happen and he's observing them, is basically all that's happening. The fact that he in this chapter described a dream and then sent a letter it's not moving the story forward. You're not seeing this character grow. Maybe that's all the point. Or maybe it's just really shitty writing. Let's continue with chapter 4, shall we? My suspension had been lifted and I had just arrived back at Lakewood High. Approaching my history class, I could hear people snickering as they watched me walk by. Someone screamed, "Wuss, learn how to fight," behind me, but I just kept walking. As I sat down in class, Mr. Hanson walked up to me. He placed his hand on my shoulder and spoke under his breath so others would not hear. "Don't worry about the work you missed, okay, James?" He didn't have a comma there. He didn't have a period there. Like, why all of a sudden is this guy being nice to him? I thought he was a prick who had an anger problem. I looked up at him and he gave me a slight smile. I suppose it's because he felt bad that I was beaten up shortly after trying to get Jason to leave the class alone. Oh my god. It was a lucky break, too, considering Mr. Hansen's class was one of the few I didn't stop by to see what work I would miss before beginning my suspension. Wow, that was just not needed. You did not need to say that. That does nothing. That does nothing to move the story forward. I approached the art trailer. Again, just moments in the day. Just, puck, 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 puck. Here's what happened. Like, you were just in history class. I get so mad I spit. You were just in history class, and now all of a sudden you're in the art trailer. Like, it's so jarring. This is so jarring. And rushed as fuck. I approached the art trailer feeling panicked over what to expect. I hated that I said anything to Abby. We know that I overstepped my bounds and acted like I knew her when I was only going off my own dream-influenced emotional intuition. Oh! I felt a conflicted hatred towards myself for jeopardizing a relationship with someone that was so important to me. This is just fucking insane at this point. If she did give up on me, I could only blame myself. Yeah, we know. We know. We know. We know. We know. We know. That's a really old Friends joke. Why am I saying that shit? Holy crap. Oh, opening the door, I could see Abby wasn't inside. Instead, there were just pieces of my bear sewn to pieces of her bear sitting on the desk. Maybe I was reading too far into what it meant. I could really only hope that there was something left for us that I could sew back together. Okay, so yeah, the symbolism was the bear is him, and he's apart, and he can get sewn back together, but with Abby this time. Walking closer, I could see something sticking out just beneath the bear. It was a note that read, "James, meet me behind the church when you get this." Immediately, I thought of the church neighboring Lakewood High. Okay? It's just, like, there's no description there. It's, like, behind the church. So, obviously, he knows what the church is. But he has to tell the readers, like, he has to tell the readers there's a church neighboring Lakewood High. I thought of it. Like, so fucking mechanical. I stuffed my backpack inside the desk and quickly made my way off campus to meet Abby. As I approached the church, there was a strong, forceful wind. Don't need forceful there. Blowing behind me that made me feel as if I was being pushed to her by nature itself. Oh my god, I knew that was going to happen even before I read it. Oh god. I felt like a fool for thinking that. Like, he keeps talking about, like, how this is the creepy inner workings of Greg's brain right here. Because he feels like an idiot half the time for doing all this stuff. Yet, at the same time, he feels so above fucking everybody in the school, and he feels above, like, being in class. It's a very strange dichotomy that he is presenting to us. But it's not justified in his writing. It's not established in his writing. It just is. And that's what's so fucking frustrating. It makes me want to kick him as hard as I can in the dick. I'm far too unimportant for any significant force to consciously influence my life. I walked around the church only to hear Abby say loudly, "James!" I turned to see her standing under an overhang that reached out from the church. It's weirdly worded. Like, overhang and, like, reached out from the church. I don't know. It sounds weird. I walked over to her and began to apologize for the letter, but she cut me off, saying, "Why did you write that to me?" I responded, "I wanted to separate myself from everyone else in your eyes." Holy fucking cock. I wanted to know, I wanted you to know I was trying to understand you. All of ... She interrupted. How messed up do you think I am, James? How screwed do you think my life is exactly? Because if you had any social skills, you might know that saying to someone what you did is, I'm not damaged goods. I'm not broken. Her voice was giving out as she began tearing up. I'm sorry, I said, helplessly watching tears fall down her face. If you had any social skills, Greg, maybe you could write dialogue a little bit better. Because you can't right now. I was wrong, but I'm here, and I will be as long as you let me, I said. Okay. She wiped her tears and struggled to speak. The reason you saw what you did in my eyes, my voice. That's not struggling to speak. She continued to struggle as she cried. You saw the bruises from my ex, but you wanted to know everything. Oh my god, I am ready to scream even louder than I already am. She paused to wipe her tears again. I listened carefully as she continued to speak. Fucking cop! Shut! Jesus! God! James, I haven't been beaten just 1 or 2 times. Like, you guys don't know each other. Who talks to people you don't know like this? Oh, Sadie's so cute. Like, thank God I'm looking at a cute little face instead of this bullshit writing. Oh. Ugh. Sadie, you're so cute. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through this. Oh, I need to do everything I can. Oh, God. Abby said as she looked at me as if every word was agonizing for her to say. Agonizing, sorry. With tear-soaked eyes, she continued, I've been violated beyond that, James, by people who called me their friend. People I trusted took advantage of me, and that killed so much of who I am, who I was. Okay. Not, like, 4 sentences ago, she was talking about how, like, how dare you talk about how broken I am. I'm not broken. And then she's like, part of me was killed by shit that happened to me in the past. Which is it, Abby? Which is it, Abby? What are you doing to us? What are you trying to say? I don't really understand. Nobody understands. Nobody's supposed to understand. All we know understand is that Sadie is the cutest fucking cat in the world. Like, are there classes that, see, like I said, I haven't taken a creative writing class, not since college, but, you know, when I did screenwriting in college, my professors said that I had a knack for dialogue writing, which I was like, okay, I didn't fucking know what the hell I was doing, but apparently I had, like, an ear for dialogue when I would write. Not trying to be braggarty, like, you know, whatever, that's something that I have been told. I'm wondering, is there specific, classes that focus on dialogue and like how to make realistic sounding dialogue, because I think that would be one interesting to take, because sometimes I think that the shit that my characters say is like, no, nobody says that, but Greg needs it really badly because none of this shit is like how people talk. This is not how people interact with each other. And considering who Greg is, the fact that he is so reclusive, it doesn't surprise me, really. That face is staring at me. Creepy. Creepy cat. Okay. Oh, God. Her face was consumed with stress. Her body shook, but she managed to continue. My mother abandoned me and left me with my father, who doesn't even care if I live. Before she could finish, I wrapped my arms around her. She dug her fingers into my back as she pulled me closer and cried into my chest. Like, this doesn't seem like this came from nowhere. This is not motivated by fucking anything other than Abby is clearly mentally unstable. As we held each other, I said, "You were never damaged, only changed. Any part of you that you think died is just hidden, waiting to come out when it's safe." Abby squeezed me even tighter. This is so like Greg. You think just these fucking words can help heal somebody. No. It's not just words. Like, words mean nothing if there's no fucking substance behind them. And no substance exists in this pile of fail. I continued. "Every time I see you, you become more beautiful to me than before." She gripped me more tightly than anyone ever had. She was finally hearing everything she wanted somebody to say to her, and I was saying everything I wanted Abby to hear. That is, most everything. And that's the end of the chapter. I'm struggling. I'm struggling so hard as to what the fuck just happened. I'm looking forward now to see how been doing this for 36 minutes. I feel like I could probably I think I could finish chapter 5. Let's just do that. Why the fuck not? Let's just get through this turd burger. Here we go. Chapter 5. Ugh. I'm hungry, though. I sat alone in my room thinking about all that happened in the last day. As I slid deeper into thought, a knock sounded at my door. Ooh, a knock sounded? "Dinner's ready, James," my mom said. I responded. "Lentils again?" She opened the door and looked at me with a blank facial expression. "We have to talk. Come to the table." What is a blank facial expression? Like, you open the door, like, what the fuck? It's the second time he's used that. As I left my room, I saw a man sitting at the table next to my sister. Trying not to be rude, I said hello, and he smiled, responding loudly. "Hello, nice to meet you, James." I asked my mom, "So who is this gentleman?" Like, fucking, that is, who is this gentleman? I asked my mom, like, superfluous. My mom responded, "Go ahead and sit down, James." Fucking Jesus. I slid out the old-fashioned second-hand store chair I always sat in at the table, you don't need to say at the table, and waited for my mom to explain. "This is Rick. The reason you haven't seen much of him is because he lives on the other side of the mountains." "All the way in Spokane," my mom said. What do you want to bet I can throw this football over the mountains over there? That's what I was reminded of. I don't know why. I smiled, feeling slightly awkward, and replied, "Oh, all right, cool." My sister immediately mocked me. "Oh, cool, Mom, duh, you're such a dweeb, James." Despite her bratty insult, I could see she too felt awkward about Rick being so spontaneously introduced to us and was just trying to distract. Just trying to distract what? Like, that just ends. That sentence just ends with no reason. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm dying inside. Rick and I have been dating for quite a few months now and are starting to become quite serious. Quite a few months, quite serious, yeah. My mom said, clearly seeking our approval. Rick added, "So yeah, it's really cool to finally meet you. Your mom talks a lot about you." I smiled and nodded while thinking about how odd it was my mom had never mentioned him. Okay, Rick proceeded to tell us stories about him hunting animals, his upper-level position at a construction company based out of Spokane, and continued to remind us how happy he was to be meeting us. Yeah, that sounds interesting, yeah, but, no, we don't get to hear any of it because it's not fucking, Greg. It's not Greg's thoughts, so we don't get to hear any of it. As far as I could see, he wasn't a bad guy, but as usual, I didn't expect much, knowing most everyone put on their friendliest mask for first impressions. Wow, you are fucking paranoid as shit. I'm sure my sister was thinking pretty much the same thing I was. He wasn't Mom's first post-dad boyfriend. My mom inquired, "So how's your life going, James?" Who the fuck says that shit? I replied, "Fine." Rick asked, "Got a girlfriend?" I didn't respond. I just kept my head down looking at my plate. Oh, right, they're eating dinner. That was not mentioned after that. Nobody, you don't see anybody serving anything. You don't see anybody getting plates down at the table. It's because Greg fucking rushed the shit out of this book. Because he's a lazy sack of shit and just wanted to say he wrote a book. And wanted to make some extra fucking money. You charging $6 for this shit. God damn it. My mom looked at me with a proud smile. James is more of the mysterious type, Rick. He doesn't talk about his relationships. So why the fuck did you ask about his life, Mom? Rick then said, "Oh yeah? Well, if you find a lady half as good as your mom, I'd say you're set." My sister interrupted. Aren't you seeing that messed up emo chick, James? She didn't interrupt, because he finished his sentence. Looking over at my sister with a blank face, I said, "Aren't you seeing every guy at school, Lisa?" So what if she is? Who gives a shit? Good for her. Get some, girl. Lisa looked horrified, and my mom responded, "James!" No, that's not a response. That's not a response. That's scolding him. Not knowing what else to say. Rick was the only one still smiling at the table at that point. Fucking double preposition. Moderately upset by what Lisa said, I asked to be excused and went to bed. Okay. As I climbed on the bus the next day, that fucking scene just ended. Davis hollered, "Oh, God. Praise be to James, our hero has arrived." I smiled as I always did. Oh. I hated loving his hilarious lines. They were kind of a tradition for Davis. Every time I stepped on the bus, he would yell them. Really? We didn't know that. We haven't seen him do that twice already. Even when I wanted to be upset, he always found a way past the walls I had built, knowing exactly what to say every time. Because he's calling you his hero, and praise be to James, when the original phrase is praise be to God. Oh my God, James. I mean, Greg, fuck both of you. I hate both of you. I hate both of you so goddamn much. Oh, Sadie, girl. Mrs. Sadie, Sadie, girl. Mrs. Sadie. Oh, I have your whole face in my hands. Oh my God, it keeps going. I hate it. As I sat next to him, he said, "I've been missing your face a lot, Mr. James. I'm trying to figure out ways to compete with your skates." I smiled and said, "You're one of the only reasons I ride the bus, Davis. You're doing just fine." Davis then jumped up and yelled, "You hear that, everyone? My best buddy thinks I'm pretty fantastic." Oh, I laughed, wishing to myself I had more friends like him. Of course you want more friends. Oh, they do this to you. Blowjob your hand, Sadie. Oh, she's so cute. I can't stand it. I'm sorry, Mrs. She's gonna try to, like... Is she gonna? She might. Yeah, she might. Sadie. Oh, no! Sadie. Oh, no! Oh, no! She's killing my hand. Oh, no! Oh, no! Sorry, she's just so cute. Oh, no! Oh, no! As I approached my history class, I could see Mr. Hansen waiting in the hall. I tried to walk by him unnoticed, but he said, "Not so fast, you need to go to the guidance counselor." Ow. Don't do that. That's not... Well, the little claws are coming out that haven't been trimmed yet. Who talks like this? I asked why, and he replied, "It's about that fight you got in. Miss Robertson is waiting." Who? Oh, the guidance counselor. Okay. "And here's to you, Mrs. Robertson." "Sadie, I'm gonna bite your face off." Ow! Your little claws, your little back claws are so sharp. She bites and then licks my hand. It's weird. Ah! Oh no! Oh no! It doesn't hurt. Alright, enough. Ah! Oh no! It's funny, it's cute. I'm sorry. Okay, we're good. You're a good lady. I proceeded to the office where there was a line of 3 people ahead of me. It wasn't due to bad scheduling. Mrs. Robertson was just outmatched by the school population, and considering she was the only person most students knew to get free condoms and or advice from, she was regularly seeing visitors. Oh boy, that was a lot. That was a run-on sentence. Do guidance counselors give condoms? I didn't think they did that. I mean, well, I didn't do any of that in high school. So, I didn't know that guidance counselors gave condoms out. Okay. "James Patrick," she said aggressively as I approached the old wood and glass door. Okay. I smiled out of politeness as she turned to the others and tossed a bundle of condoms in their direction. "These are a last resort, abstinence first," she said as she stood by the door waiting for me to enter. Okay, that I am pretty sure doesn't happen. Okay, one of the boys standing at the door said, "I actually need advice," but she slammed the door before he could finish speaking. "Have a seat, James," she said as I sat down and the room filled with a few awkward seconds of silence. Ugh. She continued, "So it looks to me that you're healing up okay." I replied, confirming I was fine. Wow, holy crap. She then said, "I've heard both sides of the story and have concluded that your friend Jason is destined for not so great things if he keeps up this attitude." Okay. My face remained still, emotionless, really. Really? You emotionless, Greg? I wouldn't believe that for a second. Oh, cutie, cutie, cutie. Yes, indeed. She likes her neck scratched, but she likes to your hair's in my mouth, asshole. Please don't bite me anymore. I just sat silently listening. Really no shit. She asked, "What direction do you want to go with your future?" Like, where is all this coming from? I replied, "I've heard really great things about Up." What? It was like my joke hit a brick wall. Yeah. Yeah, that was... What is that, a joke? What? About Up? Like, I don't get it. Look at Sadie. She's like, I don't understand either. She seemed only sarcastically amused and continued speaking. But seriously, what, like, where is the joke? Where do you want your future to go? Up. Oh my god. But seriously, I was told you turned down a TA position, which I personally recommended to Mr. Hansen. Like, this guy has shown absolutely there is no basis for him being this great student. We don't know what his grades are. Like, we don't know anything about his schoolwork, and yet everybody's, like, bending over fucking backwards for him. I replied I just wanted to stay in art class. She replied, with Mrs. Stanley. I nodded and she laughed. So who's the girl, she asked. Like, oh, God. I was surprised that she was concluded so quickly it was even about a girl. But then again, I was just one of thousands of students. We like to think romance is unique. Oh my fucking God. But we're most all playing the same game. What? But we're most all playing the same game. Same game. Jesus Christ, like, your whole relationship with fucking Abby is unique, as you're putting it. And now you're saying, like, oh, everybody thinks it's unique. Like, are you, oh my God. Mrs. Robertson had years of dealing with people like me, so no wonder she could see right through me. Oh. For a brief moment, Mrs. Robertson, God damn it, shut up, nearly spoke my mind. What? She said with a smirk. Oh, come on, lots of us like to think we're special, but what? Oh, come on, lots of us like to think we're special, but that just shows you how we really aren't. Yep, that's how it's written. Especially the brats walking these halls. Like, I saw my guidance counselor. I liked talking to my guidance counselor in high school because I don't know. I was just a whiny brat in high school, so I fucking whined to him all the time, and he never spoke like this. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on your leg. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Little face. Knowing Mrs. Robertson had to keep our conversations private, I replied, there's this girl, Abby. I really like her, and it's the only class I have with her. I thought this was about the fight, and now it's just, like, branching out into all this weird, ridiculous shit, because Greg wants to, again, pontificate on how special his relationship is. Mrs. Robertson was no longer smirking now that I told her who I was interested in. Show, don't tell, holy fucking cock. She sat up and looked down at her desk. She moved some items around, and she stopped suddenly. Then she looked at me in the eyes and said, listen to me carefully. I can't tell you anything about Abby, but I can give you advice. Think twice about getting involved with her. I want to see you succeed. Why? Nothing about him screams that he is going to succeed. And some people being a significant part of your life can make that difficult for you. I didn't say anything. In that moment, I was lost in thought, wondering why she would become so serious over Abby. Oh, God, I should have not started reading this. Oh my God, it goes on for so long. Oh my fucking God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Okay, here we go. Oh, Mrs. Robertson then asked, so I'm not going to try to change your heart in my experience, but that's more often than not a lost cause, because I can change your schedule to something that fits. She's not asking anything. She didn't ask anything. Abby has PE during third period. How about you just stick with Mr. Hanson after your first class of the day? Doing so will replace your art class, and your third period will now be PE, where you can see your precious Abby. No. What? No. Guidance counselors don't have the power to change a student's class, do they? I don't think so. What the hell? Sadie, what did you make me do? Why'd you make me read this? Why the fuck does she care? Like, really? Really? I'm sorry, I keep rolling my fat over onto your little tootsies. Your little tootsies. While her attitude towards Abby continued to concern me. Wow. I was also curious as to why both Miss Robertson and Mr. Hanson were so adamant about having me be a TA, but I was grateful they were at least trying to work with me regardless of my preferences, so I accepted the schedule change. It's another run-on sentence. Oh my god. I swear to God, this whole little interaction with the fucking guidance counselor is just so Greg's character can justify that, well, I totally love this girl. I'm gonna do all this shit for her. There's no other reason. There was absolutely no reason for that. That was the most pointless fucking interaction ever. I returned to Mr. Hanson's class and requested I attend art class one last time before the schedule change. Mr. Hanson agreed, and I made my way over to the art trailer once more. Holy fuck. As I walked in the trailer door, I was happy to see Abby once again. Oh my god, you said once more. 3 times in 3 sentences. Sitting in the same seat she always did. When I approached her to sit down, she pulled out my backpack and shook it. Your backpack has a lot of interesting things in it. What? Where was his... his backpack stayed there the whole time, like, when they were, like after they went to the church, like, he shoved the backpack... I don't understand. Where did she get his backpack? I replied, oh, really, you went through it. She responded, yep, and by interesting things I meant nothing, just school junk. I laughed. Why? And asked, life's got enough burdens for us to carry. Why add physical weight? Alright, does anybody fucking believe that this is an actual, like, teenager talking? Maybe this is how teenagers talk online, but I feel like they're not going to interact with somebody that they don't really know all that well, like, right away like this. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what the fuck? Who the fuck? I don't fucking know. God damn it. She raised her eyebrows and said, okay, Smarty, did you like our bear? I smiled and replied, I love it. She threw her arms up and hugged me. I can't. Mrs. Stanley walked in and immediately seeing our hug and said, if you're going to suck or eat, go find an alleyway. This is a trailer. We have goddamn dignity. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Not knowing how to react. I don't fucking know either. I looked over at Abby, silently mouthing, oh my god, to me. I smiled and sat down with Abby. I'm going to punch this book in the face! Alex walked into the room and gave me a glare, probably because his art partner was still suspended for the fight we had, which meant he had to do it alone. I tried to ignore Alex. All I could think of is that pea jar when I looked at him, which still freaked me out. Pea jar. You're a pea jar. I'm gonna start calling you pea jar. Little pea jar. As class came to a close, we gathered our things and began to walk out. Jesus Christ. Bye, Mrs. Stanley, I'll miss you. Mrs. Stanley responded, calling me the F word in her natural offensive fashion, and gave the class an awkward, semi-shocked laugh. What does that even mean? Let's try to decipher that for a second. She responded by calling him a fuck in her natural offensive fashion. This offensiveness really came out of nowhere. She wasn't offensive before. She was barely offensive before, and now all of a sudden she's talking about if you're gonna suck or eat, suck dick or eat pussy is basically what the fuck she was just saying to them! Her students! I'm sorry, I keep hitting you. Oh, you're so silly. Oh, no, please don't. No, no, that's not nice. High five? Oh, honey. She's just showing off right now. How many no! No! Oh, no! Oh, no! I wonder what this looks like. Does it look like she's, like, really hurting me? She's not. She's just being a butt right now. Sadie. Let me go, she said. Let me go. She said, oh no. Ah! Oh no! Oh no! I'm sorry. This is all I can do. Okay. No, close your mouth. I don't know what she's doing. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Delicious. Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. Okay. Anyway, walking outside, Abby said, why do you think Mrs. Stanley still has a job? I replied, pretty sure everyone feels they'll guarantee themselves an eternity of torment in the afterlife if they were to fire someone as old as her. Oh my god, James! Shut the fucking cock stain up, God. Ugh. Ugh. Abby replied, yeah, I guess it would be hard getting a job when you're... Wow. When your resume lists World War I nurse in your work history. By the way, he said your resume, Y-O-U-R-E resume. What, you are resume. Fucking idiot. I laughed so hard, I had to stop till I could control it. Comma, are you okay? Abby asked with a nervous smile on her face. Still laughing, I said, sorry, and continued walking as Abby looked at me, bewildered by how funny I thought she was. How do you fucking know that? How do you know that? How do you fucking know it? My reaction wasn't really about what she had said, but the fact that she said it to me. I felt so important and excited when she gave me her attention. Fuck you. Good God. As we got closer to the gym, Abby was giving me a funny look, as I normally didn't walk her that far. I said, don't worry, I'm not stalking you. We have the same class now. Bullshit! You're not stalking her. You specifically changed your shit so you could be with her. Oh, God, I'm gonna die here. This is what's gonna kill me. I'm not ready to go yet. I have a lot of shit to do. Ugh. She replied, manipulating your schedule to be with someone sounds like stalking, Mr. Patrick. I said, not if you drop Mrs. Stanley. She pushed me playfully, saying, jealous. Oh, fuck both of you. I want to kick both of you right in the cunt. The boys split off to dress in their locker room, and the girls did the same. I didn't have gym clothes with me yet, so I just sat down at the bleachers and waited for everyone else to get done putting on their uniforms. I like that he can just do that. You think you're fucking so high and mighty, you can just skip gym like that. My gym classes in high school were so regimented. There was like a time I didn't have a shirt, and they made me wear like my regular shirt. It was so bad. I was like, I hate you. Oh. A deep voice sounded off, what are you doing here, kid? I looked over to see a very tall man in the baggiest gym suit I'd ever seen. Hi, I'm James Patrick. I think I have your class now. I'm getting like the weirdest sense of deja vu right now, and I don't know why. You can clear it with Mrs. Robertson. He smiled and said, well, James Patrick, I'm your gym teacher, Mr. Mack. I nodded and smiled as he bluntly asked, you're that kid who got beat up by Jason? Like, do teachers gossip like that? Is that something teachers do? Oh, God. I replied, yeah, I pushed him after he pushed me, and then he started throwing punches. He smiled and said, oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's like the third time he said, he smiled and said. He's not going to stop smiling after he says his fucking word. His fucking sentence. Whatever. He smiled and said, well, that's my nephew for you. I froze up and blankly stared at Mr. Mack as his words sank in. I swear I could feel my heart skip when I acknowledged his connection to Jason. Seeing the look on my face, Mr. Mack continued, don't worry, between you and me, kid's a prick. Just like his dad. Like, why is everybody so blunt to James? James Blunt. Why is everybody so candid with him? Like, there's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for them to be this candid to him. It doesn't make sense. Mr. Mack chuckled and walked away. I felt relief and awkwardly smiled. Again, you're still smiling, even though you've been smiling talking to him. only to see Abby in the corner of my eye bursting out of the girls' locker room. She was in her PT uniform and carried a beautiful smile on her face. Running over to me, Abby sat down and gave me a big hug. "I'm so glad you're still in class with me," she said. The gym shirt was hiked up her arms so I could feel her skin connect with my neck. Oh my god, creepy, creepy. The sensation was glorious. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Sorry, did I wake you? Did I wake you with the shaking of the bed, Mrs. Sadie? Oh my goodness gracious. Stop! I'm trying to pet you and you're being a butt. There you go. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ow. Stop! Psycho. My face was beaming from feeling her warmth around me. I replied, "You will be the one reason I look forward to gym." Gross. Mr. Mack overheard and interrupted as he stood a short distance away. "Hey kid, I thought we were becoming friends." I laughed awkwardly, feeling a little weird about him eavesdropping. But then again, it's much easier to close your eyes than it is to turn off your ears. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Oh, my head is so itchy. My head is so itchy. Itchy, itchy. No! No! Okay. Everyone gathered on the gym floor, excluding me. That's not really the correct word to use there, because it sounds like they're sitting on the floor purposefully excluding you. Except me! God damn. Fuck. Mr. Mack immediately noticed I was not participating and said, "Hey, if you don't have gear, go in my office and pick out an outfit. Pick out an outfit." Oh my god. I reluctantly got up and walked over towards his office, where I realized I would have to sift through a huge pile of mismatching jerseys and sweatpants to get a half-decent outfit. You just realized that? You just realized that you'd have to sift through shit when he just told you to go to his office and pick out an outfit? Really? You just realized that? After changing in the bathroom, I walked out to everyone taking part in dodgeball! Yay, dodgeball! Dodgeball's one word, by the way. I could feel the focus of the room shift on my outfit. Just as I expected, I was greeted with laughter. "Oh, god damn you into a million fucking pieces. Come here, work phone. I've got an email." I've never in my life had a BlackBerry for work, and now I have one. No. Okay. Hey, at least you won't get your normal clothes sweaty from dodgeball, Mr. Mack said, tossing me a ball as the game was already in play. Before I could even catch it, Raymond, one of the jocks in the class, smacked me in the side of the head. Everyone but a few people bust out laughing again as Mr. Mack lurched up and pointed at Raymond, screaming, "You're out, Raymond, can't hit above the shoulders." Oh my Christ. Raymond replied with a discouraged snap of his fingers, scowling as he sat on the sidelines. It was odd how he broke the rules and hit another person in the head, yet pretended to be the victim. Fuck you! Are you kidding? You played the victim the whole time with the fucking fight. Okay, now on Kindle for iPhone, they have this thing where you can see multiple people have underlined something, so multiple people underlined this next sentence. Ready? "I never really understood the human tendency to feel sorry for yourself when you're being punished for breaking rules you were well aware of." I don't know what the fuck, why people are underlining that. Is it his fans being all like, "Wow, this is really deep, Greg"? Or is it his haters who see the fucking irony in him saying, feeling sorry for yourself and playing the victim? I don't know. Abby was on my team, and we were down to just a few people. I very quickly found out that I was quite good at the game. Of course you fucking were quite good at the game. You're good at everything, dipshit. Better than I thought, at least. I kind of used Abby as my motivation to do well. Oh my god. I imagined it was some kind of evolutionary thing. A man trying to impress his mate with the physical performances to demonstrate his superiority over other members of the tribe. Right. This is this is very twisted on how Greg thinks about things. I don't know. I kept catching every other ball thrown at me, only to return it, hitting a student approximately 1 out of every 3 attempts. Fuck, nobody thinks like this. Oh my god, this is just, oh my god. I always threw low to decrease the chance of anyone catching my ball. No, this is, like, now you go into detail about fucking this. Jesus. After a while, my consistent efforts paid off. Our entire team was back in play. Raymond had made his way back in the game on their side, but only a small nerdy kid remained in play with him. Raymond would try to catch what we threw, but was always a few inches short of reaching the ball as it flew by. A ball smacked the nerdy kid in his ankles, and only Raymond was left. Like, the way I'm reading it is, like, how it's so... there's just no passion here, no heart. Just fucking words on a page. He tried to throw a ball at my head again, but this time I was ready. Just as the ball flew past me, every person with a ball on my side threw theirs at him. In an almost comedic fashion, every other ball impacted his chest. That's not right. And below. We were all cracking up over it, but Mr. Mack interrupted us, letting us know class was over. Before Abby ran back to, like, it was, oh my god, that whole game was just about him. It was just about him. Ugh. I totally forgot Abby was even in the class for a second. Before Abby ran back to the locker room, she walked up to me and said, "Can you call me tonight?" I nodded, smiling, and she kissed me on the cheek. My mind exploded with excitement. From that single kiss on my cheek, we just fucking heard that it was on your cheek. My whole body felt light and warm the rest of the day. Ugh. After doing my chores later that night, I called Abby like she asked, and she answered, "Hey, you." Oh my god. I replied, "Not a lot of callers, huh?" She said, "Actually, I just embarrassed myself on the last call hoping it was you. My grandma felt pretty special for about 10 seconds. Close parentheses, period." She and I talked for hours. We discussed the plausible absurdity of horoscopes, the secret, the legitimacy of souls, the afterlife, and even leprechauns. Very few topics were off limits. Being free to talk about whatever was on my mind felt liberating. Having these conversations with her served as just another reminder that there was someone out there who could really understand me with just as much kindness and acceptance as I did them. Holy shit. Jesus Christ on a stick. They talk for hours. And it's just that one paragraph. Like, you pontificate and you bloviate and you fucking describe so much needless bullshit, but then something that can actually move your story along and give us more insight into your characters, you leave for a fucking paragraph. Oh, I don't understand. Before I hung up, I said, "Abby, thank you for making my imperfect life feel perfect." Oh my Christ on a stick. She laughed at how cheesy the line was, only to respond, "Well, thank you for being so perfectly imperfect." Oh my god, remember that was like the first line of the book. I felt a warm smile come across my face and said goodnight. That's the end of the 3 chapters. I can't believe I read 3! Ah! Fucking shitballs. Alright. So it's just the same thing over and over again that I'm going to say a million times on how shitty it is. We still, like, just don't, like, there is just no rhyme or reason for these characters to like each other. And it's just so like Greg. It's just so like Greg, and he definitely wrote it. And that's what's creepy about it, you know? So we'll continue. We'll keep going. I'll keep it going. Let me know if you want me to, like, I think what I'm going to do is after I read the whole book, which is going to take a while, but after I read the whole book, I'm going to I'm making a playlist of all these terrors, these hour-long terrors, and then I'm going to make it unlisted once we're all done. So, or I'm gonna unlist these videos. They're unlisted because I don't want my first video in a while to be about this shit stain. I really don't I don't have any ranting things these days. So anyway, that's the end. So thanks for watching, bitches.